Shalom, this is Ephraim Buchwald, your very friendly Rabbi Ephraim Buchwald, anticipating with great feeling the Israel Independence Day celebration that will take place next week on the 16th of April. That's a Tuesday, preceded by the Israel Memorial Day for the fallen soldiers on Monday night. I'd like to share with you what Rabbi Sameach has written in his essay going back in the 1950s called Kol Dodi Dofek, The Voice of My Beloved Knocks. And it's based on the story of Shir HaShirim, the Song of Songs that we read on the Passover holiday. And it's about a beautiful maiden who encounters a handsome shepherd. They promise each other eternal fidelity. And how the shepherd comes to the beautiful maiden's home and knocks on the door, waiting for him to respond. Rabbi Sameach says that God knocked in our generation perhaps more than any generation since the splitting of the Red Sea and the giving of the Torah at Sinai 3,300 years ago. God knocked in 1948 with the establishment of the State of Israel, and he says that the establishment of the State of Israel was really a miracle because Israel did not have the votes to win the recognition in the United Nations, except that at the last moment, Joseph Stalin, the head of the Soviet Union, instructed the satellite states to vote in favor of the establishment of the State of Israel. And in a few years, they were to become the arch enemies of Israel. God knocked. God knocked again in that Israel fought a battle with 6 or 7 invading Arab countries after they announced their establishment, and were able to defeat those 6 or 7 Arab invading armies. It was a miracle because the British left most of the sophisticated arms to the Arabs, and Israel was left with a fledgling army. They didn't even really have regular soldiers. Many of the soldiers were refugees from the Holocaust who landed on the shores of Israel and were given a gun, a makeshift gun, and said, fight off the Arab invading armies. And they defeated them. And it was an incredible, incredible miracle. And as a result of that, because the hearts of the Arab leaders were hardened, Israel was able to expand its territory 2 or 3 times over. So God knocked. And that's what we have to remember on Yom Ha'atzmaut, on the Israel Independence Day. So this Monday night and Tuesday, let us relish this miracle, this incredible miracle that we merited to experience in our lifetimes. Yom Ha'atzmaut Sameach. Happy Israel Independence Day.